I just finally got confirmation that food stamps is officially cut for next month.
About 2 months ago, I stopped eating dinner almost every night of the week so that my boyfriend and I could have enough food left over to have lunch the next day. This was before we were about to lose our food stamps. Mind you, we both work.
I don't think that we really realize the depths that this is, the damage that this is going to do, but the women, the mothers, and the families, but the mothers especially, who are going to go without meals so their children don't have to. I know that I will absolutely be one of those mothers.
But because we have children and because aftercare and before care is too expensive, I've taken a job that's basically minimum wage so that I can be there to pick up my kids. I cannot fathom what we're going to do without that food stamp money, because if I already couldn't eat dinner with that food stamp money,
I'm so tired of seeing people say like, oh, well, maybe if you had a job, you could get your groceries, or, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't have to depend on stamps. I work full time. Thank you. And I do rely on stamps because guess what? It's not enough money in this economy for me to be able to pay bills and get stuff that we need and provide for my 2 kids. So yes, I depend on stamps. And I have a full-time job. So please know that people out here depend on stamps is not because we out here just mooching off the government. It's because we literally need that to provide for our family.
This whole EBT situation, man, it's getting really crazy, man. It's really getting really crazy. And it's really unfortunate that this is all politics, man. This is all what it is. This is all politicians being politicians, and they're using, people, the EBT recipients as like pawns on a chessboard. That's all they're doing. And it's really unfortunate 'cause I'm seeing so many videos out there where people are just bashing each other. It drives me insane to see people just bashing other people who are reliant on these type of services. Like, it's bad enough that some people who are using these services already, they're down and out, right? They're down and out. They're struggling financially. They need this assistance. And to be very honest with you, they've been putting money into the system. So now they're just getting a benefit that's helping them. And all you're seeing is people just bashing them. You're lazy, get a job. Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Listen, we all slip up and make mistakes in life. We all go through certain hardships. And that's what it's there for. That's exactly what it's there for. And it reminds me of a story where when me and my wife, we first had a kid, we weren't married yet, right? We first had a kid. And I was like, okay, I got my first son. Boom, I'm going to go out and work as hard as I can. I'm going to get us an apartment. I'm going to do all the hard working and do as much as I can. Now, my wife, unfortunately, at that time, she wasn't able to work because once she was pregnant, but she was having a tough time during pregnancy. So it all was on me. And yo, I love a challenge. I really do, because I could figure things out. So I'm going out there and I'm grinding. I'm doing all the hard work, doing the things I need to do to provide for my family. But I didn't know, little did I know, I mean, my wife weren't married at this time, but little did I know, she was applying for EBT. And when she got approved, I was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, no, I don't want this. My ego got to me, right? I was like, no, I don't want this. I don't need this. Because you always hear this these negative things people say about people on EBT. And I'm like, that's not me. I'm not a mooch. I could work hard. I could get it. And she looked me in the eye and said, this has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. I appreciate all the hard work you're doing. But this food, this assistance is for the baby. You see, I could go on eating oodles and noodles, eating peanut butter jelly sandwiches, or skipping certain meals throughout the day, but a baby can't. And that's what his EBT service is about. And when she mentioned that to me, opened up my eyes and recognized, a lot of people who are on this type of service, even when they are working, is simply due to the fact of they just need a little extra help for the baby, for the babies that they have in the home that they're trying to help feed. Sometimes, man, people go through a lot of hardships in life, right? And it's not their fault. Or some could possibly be their fault. They made a bad decision, which they thought was a good decision. And that's how we learn, right? We all make mistakes. We all learn and we grow. But just going there bashing people about the fact that they're on the service is because someone in the news is just stating it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. Guys, it's politics. We're smarter than that. Recognize when politicians are saying certain things and they're making you go against your own people, your own American citizens, your own neighbors. You have to recognize why. It's all about politics, plain and simple.
So what's going on with food stamps about to run out? 42 million Americans who depend on the SNAP or Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program to eat, to survive. That's going to run out on Saturday? Yep. And let me explain. So right now, if you go to the U.S. Department of Agriculture website, it says, quote, Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times to not fund the food stamp program, also known as SNAP. Bottom line, the well has run dry. We're approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. They can continue to hold out for health care for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures, or reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable among us can receive critical nutrition assistance. That's quite a stark description of the reason that the government is shut down. Democrats say they're doing it to restore Medicaid benefits and also to continue the extension of the Obamacare subsidy so people can afford health insurance, which expires at the end of the year. But be that as it may, Democrats say, wait a second, there is a contingency fund for food stamps. And in fact, you can go back on the Wayback Machine and find a memo from all the way back just on September 30th of this year, so not really that long ago, that says congressional intent is evident that SNAP's operation should continue since the program has been provided with multi-year contingency funds to ensure that the state can continue operations during a federal government shutdown. Multi-year contingency funds available to fund participant benefits in the event that a lapse occurs in the middle of the fiscal year. So that's a Trump Agricultural Department memo from September 30th, but it's no longer on their website. And I asked USDA, what's up with that? And they said, oh, that's an iterative document. I said, what does that mean? They said it's constantly changing. They no longer think it's true. They think that their current legal analysis, which they acknowledge many disagree with, is that these funds are only for the event of a natural disaster, even if this September 30th document says it's for a government shutdown.
You see, that's the thing I hate the most, man. I hate when people play games like that. Why are you playing games like that? If you know, right, you have this legal document and this obligation during a shutdown to allow SNAP to keep on going, but you're just trying to get some political points and just remove it, that's dirty, man. That is extremely dirty. I'm telling you, man, this whole thing, this is like we live in an upside down world. We really do. There was something that someone mentioned to me, and I'm like, yo, it's so true. I heard this comment. I'm like, yo, it's extremely true. Where they said, people with 99 bananas convince people with one banana that the people with no bananas are greedy. Ain't that something? You have people who are extremely rich, politicians out there who make so much money, convincing people that the people who actually need this service, they need these services, and the most likely they would need it at least once in life. Or let's be very honest, a lot of people probably use it at least once in life. The parents or someone in the household use it once in life. And you're trying to call the people who really, really need it. Like they really need it. They're lazy, they're greedy, they don't deserve it. What? It's like we're turning on each other and fighting with each other about services that was out there for us to have. Now, I understand, like I said, I shared a story earlier about the pride and the ego. But to me, it's to do with a lot of pride and ego, don't get me wrong. But it also has to do with all this misinformation. So much misinformation that legal immigrants, man, listen, man. We're American citizens that we need financial assistance, we need financial assistance, right? If you might not like the fact that some people that's on EBT know how they spend that money, but there is certain things that they need to do there's only certain things that they can buy with that money. Now, for people out there who are cheating the system and they're finding ways to manipulate and whatnot, they're living a horrible life. They're living a life every day of lies. And one day, when something happens, not like a government shutdown, but when something happens, when they get called out, that's it. When that gets cut, then you're screwed. So that's why I feel like, karma is a thing. For people out there who are taking advantage of the system, who don't really need it, and they're manipulating the line to get it, that's a horrible life that they're living. Eventually, karma's will come to them. But I don't want to remove it for everyone simply just because of the fact of some people of freaking just lifetime like criminals trying to find ways to get around the system to just mooch the system. Not everyone is doing that. And trust me, I know that. I grew up in a poor community, right? I grew up in a very poor community, and I had a lot of friends that were embarrassed to use their EBT cards. They used to send me to the store to make purchases for them while they're standing next to me because they were embarrassed to make it. I wasn't. I was young. I was like 17, maybe 16 years old. Probably younger than that, probably 15. And I was like, dude, who cares, man? Like, you need it, you need it. Like, I didn't use it in my household. We didn't need it with me growing up, even though we probably were eligible for it, but we didn't use it. But I seen that, and people used it that actually needed it. Right? No one that I grew up with that was using it, and majority of people I grew up with had EBT and food stamps or whatnot. I've never seen any of them just flossing, right? Just going out expensive ass cars using EBT. That's not a thing. But of course, on social media, people love to either have some satire or people like to just post that one person that's taking advantage of the system, and now it's like they paint everyone with the same brush. And that's not the case.
So why are y'all glad that people are about to get their EBT cards cut off or not replenished? Why is that something that brings you joy? That is some sick shit. That is really some sick shit. You are excited that people are not going to be able to eat. You're excited that kids will not get breakfast, so they're going to go to school hungry, not be able to pay attention, probably get in trouble, have to stay after school. The parents gonna have to take off work to go up there. These are things that get you going. Y'all already want to be the fucking cart police. Oh, why do they have all of that? If EBT allows it to be covered, then clearly the government feels like they should be able to purchase that. So why are you worried about it? Why are you in their business? You don't have shit else to do. That's what y'all problem is with all of this shit. It's not minding your fucking business. You worried about shit that doesn't fucking concern you. I could give a rat's ass what these people are buying. What the fuck do I care? Now, when I had EBT, yes, I had it. Yes, I sure the fuck did, because that is what I pay my fucking taxes for. That is what money that comes out of my paycheck goes towards for programs like that, so that when I need them, I can take advantage of them. And I don't give a fuck. I'm not ashamed.
You know, my whole life changed, right? Financially, spiritually, everything. When I recognize whatever you do, people are not going to like what you do. And there's gonna always be haters that love to just tear you down. Because the simplest thing to really do, and I'm being honest with you, the simplest thing to do is to break things, destroy things. It's very easy. It's hard to build things. And once you start doing positive things in your life, for example, let's say like if you started a business, side hustle, it blew up making all this money. Instantly, people are gonna say, oh, you're a thief, you stole it, you're greedy, like you did all these wrong things to get that. Like everyone just starts to claw at you and tear you down. And it's the same with this. It truly is the same with the EBT. You use it and people are like, oh, you're lazy, you're horrible, they're tearing it down. Because in reality, they wish they could use it. They really do wish that they could use it, but they want to just go out and just try to destroy people. And that's just when my whole mentality changed. I recognize I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing because building things is the hardest thing to do, right? Building financial freedom for me and my family, that's the hardest thing to do. Going on YouTube, doing videos, that's the hardest thing to do. But there's going to be comments of people trying to rip me down because they can't do what I do. They want to discredit everything about me. They don't even know me. But so many people have so much hatred in them. It just blows my mind how many hatred people has. It really does. To the point now, it doesn't shock me. Now I'm kind of used to it. And when I see stuff like this, right, like bashing someone that needs assistance and help, where they're extremely vulnerable, they're crying, they're nervous, not knowing what to do, and you're just bashing them, it's horrible. The way I think of it as is, okay, let's say some of those people who are hating, right? Let's say like if they're struggling financially, getting hit with a bunch of stuff happening in their life, a car breaks down, everything is stacked on top of them. I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? They're stressed out, freaking out, they're worried about work, what are you gonna do? And I come along and I'm like, well, you should have saved more. Well, you should have budgeted more. Well, I mean, that's your fault, not my fault. What, you want me to build? What? Calm down. We all go through certain difficulties in life, man. We all do. And instead of just building up someone, we love to destroy people when they're down. We just do. That's just the way our society is built. And it's really unfortunate. It's extremely unfortunate. So I really hope, this EBT situation gets taken care of so we can move on from this. Because this is like a dark side of society. People just bashing, and now everyone is like a politician. Everyone has something to say. It just shocks me. It's like, listen, if you're so much into politics, maybe you should run for office rather than typing stuff on your keyboard or turning stuff on your camera, just bashing other people for no apparent reason, even though it doesn't affect your life whatsoever. It blows my mind. I know people are gonna say, well, like it's my money. I pay taxes. Did you approve that whole Argentina bailout, 20 billion or whatever billion, right? If we didn't approve to that, like we couldn't take that money and open up the government, give it to Obamacare. We didn't have money for that, right? But we have money to bail out another country. These are things that need to make you think and recognize this politics playing a game. And there's a game that they're playing that a lot of times a lot of people are participating in, and they have no idea that there's something way bigger going on. Something way bigger going on that they want to throw us the little things to start cultural wars and have everyone fighting. Well, guys, drop a comment down below and let me know. And if you anyone right now who knows someone that's struggling right now financially, especially due to the fact of this EBT thing, reach out to them and give them some support, man. Let's not start with this hating and this bashing thing. I already know my comments are going to be filled with that, but it has to be said. Catch you guys in my next video. Peace.